Counsel?
Yes, sir. May it please the court. Stay tuned with BNN and BNN Online for this breaking news story. These are the words spoken by a BNN news anchor on the night of September 24th, 2006. Now, on that night, BNN was covering a gun control debate between Professor Lane Hamilton and gubernatorial candidate Drew Walton. The two were seen outside of the Civic Center, locked in a heated argument, when suddenly shots were fired and Lane Hamilton was found lying dead on the cold asphalt with Drew Walton standing over his body. What happened that night was news, big news. And members of the jury, BNN ran a story and gathered the facts, and that is why we are here today. I, Carla Ciambrello, along with Elise Goloski and Lauren Cannell, are here today in defense of BNN. Members of the jury, for its broadcast and its news story on that September 9th, BNN is accused of defaming Mr. Drew Walton. Mr. Walton alleges that the broadcast was false, that it was defamatory, that it was actually and intentionally malicious, and that it caused harm to the plaintiff. The plaintiff today has a big burden of proof, and the defense will show you that they will fail to satisfy the element on each of these standards. The defense today will call 3 witnesses to the stand. First, we'll call Regan Thomas. Regan Thomas was the first news reporter on the night in question. He will tell us how he gathered his facts, talked to specific eyewitnesses, and ran the best story he could. Next, we'll call Kit Berkshire to the stand. Mr. Berkshire is the CEO and president of BNN. He will testify to why he gave Regan Thomas permission to run his story, and he will also testify to the standards that BNN upholds. Lastly, we will call to the stand Riley Faith. Riley Faith, who in his expertise of journalism, will testify to the standard protocol of journalistic ethics as well as BNN's compliance with these standards. Now, members of the jury, the evidence we will present you with today will clearly demonstrate that Hamilton's death can be ruled as a homicide. We are dealing with news. It's plain and simple. We are not dealing with the daily radio broadcast done 50 years ago. We are dealing with 24-hour breaking news stories. Now, in 2006, you can access the news online or on TV 24/7. And BNN and listeners knew that BNN would be updating their news story and to stay tuned for further information. In fact, on BNN's broadcast on the bottom, there was a ticker that read BNN exclusive. Walton may be the Hamilton shooter. That alone left the listeners wondering, maybe there's more to this story. Let me tune in for more and see what's going on. Now, BNN had a duty to report what they knew, when they knew, and that is exactly what they did. The public had a right to know what was happening, and BNN did the best job that they could to let them know what was going on. When the facts changed, the news changed. Listeners knew that BNN was not accusing Mr. Drew Walton of murder. They knew that there were many chapters left to Lane Hamilton's death that were to be explored. They were curious. They stayed tuned. And when they did, they saw that BNN issued an update the very next day. This update told viewers that Mr. Walton was cleared of any allegations pointing to him. Now, stay tuned and listen to this breaking news story unfold. And when it comes to a close, find in favor of the defense, BNN.